only imagine. I'm exhausted after a 2-week vacation.
More fun than anything.
I know, yeah.
You just can't keep it going.
You just can't keep it going.
Is he still on the road?
He is not on the road anymore, but he plays every once in a while at coffee houses. Am I getting this right? And I'm going to present him, and I hope Camille at some point in the next 6 months or so right here. So if you liked what you heard, you're going to get to hear a lot more of it.
Okay.
And Camille, I do hope, I've heard, after I met them, I looked them up, all their music online, and I heard his music, and I'm like, wow. And then I heard her music, and I was like, wow, okay, they're coming to my house. And wow. Yeah, and all of you guys, it's just awesome. Thank you, Adam, for coming, and Camille next time.
Next time.
Right? Yeah. And what do we have? Laura Refern. Are you ready?
Sure.
How about a little acting? Laura's another Toastmasters friend, and yeah, and she's going to tell us. Oh yeah. We got to do that.
I don't know what that was, but thank you. I was at a bit of a loss to know what to bring today, and so I sat down and looked at my various books of poetry, and this one jumped into my hand, and some poems wanted to be read, and I've learned not to question that. So it is my privilege and pleasure to share this poet with you this evening. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the poet Hafiz or Hafiz. I'm actually not sure how you pronounce his name. Tell me if you know. Is it
Hafiz.
Hafiz. Thank you. I just know that I love him. And so these are some poems from him that I am going to share with you this evening. I said in my introduction that he was playful and sacred at the same time, which is a very unique combination that I hope you'll enjoy. This is called A Saddle on Every Particle of Space. Most are still a leaf, spinning between heaven and earth. What can one see of their surroundings in a state of fragile or chaotic motion? Either settle on the ground and come to know its astounding wonder and sing to us from there, or maybe sharpen up your meditations and get lifted higher and reside in the radiant stratosphere until you turn into such a fine, holy ash you integrate with all. Put a saddle on every particle of space and ride like a wild cowboy, and just keep going, having fun everywhere, while you sink your spurs deeper into all being, and into what can be called God, who then just laughs. This is called Sheltered by the Sun. And can everyone hear me okay? Toastmasters, I'm often told to talk up, speak up.
Yeah.
Look what can grow from one shaft of a field, or from one shaft like a human being. Beautiful cities can rise in our minds, or be burned there to the ground. We can become so ripe, schools and buildings can be named after us, and things we have written may come to be spoken in several tongues. What does love care about any fame? Not a thing. But love does not mind any attention it gets either, if that intention increases the capacity to give. Love does not mind that place where it camped for a while in a physical form, or where that body may come to rest, and may even then be revered, if that body became a unique shelter, nourishment for others. That is what greatness does. Kindly leaves a shelter for us to gather under, where more nourishment can be offered to all things. Oh yes. This one I thought of because we had several singers in the room tonight. I hadn't originally selected it, but it kind of popped out to me. So these are for the singers. Where I once sang, it gently faded all I once believed in. But I am glad there is a world that seems to go on where I once sang. All I ever knew is still a part of me, and will be forever. All I ever knew is like a little mouse, living in a tiny hole in a palace I have become. Since God gave me the key to myself, I know the movements of every limb, fin, and leaf. I could tell you how many hairs exist on every creature on earth. Sometimes it, that sweet little rodent, comes out and we look at each other. And I even talk to that wondrous world where I once lived, as I am doing right now. This is a fun one. This is called Word Spreads About Good Cooking. The movements of our hands help build the unseen. We add to the universe by our efforts. Whatever we do, we should never think it is irrelevant. Whatever we do, we should not conclude it is so important either. Between those two poles, find your balance. Between those two regions, your talents will bloom. Word spreads about good cooking. Become that, an exquisite meal for us. The alchemy stone is waiting to retire and confess. Something in us is its power.